Secretary, and other advisors present today, some of whom have joined us virtually. I'll start with Mr. Stephen Alango on my right.
Thank you.
He's a Group Managing Director. Thank you. Mr. Steve Iwenjora is joining us virtually. Mrs. Christabel Onyejekwe is also joining us virtually. Next to Stephen is Professor Ogechi Adiola. Next is Mrs. Elizabeth Amadiume, who is also joining us virtually. Mr. Chidiebere Iwokocha is an Executive Director. He's on the right. We also have Mr. Peter Ekweme. Mrs. Uloma Okoro is representing PAC solicitors in our company secretaries. We also have present members of the audit committee. Yes, right. Our external auditors, KPMG Professional Services, represented by two gentlemen, Mr. Akinyemi Ashade and Mr. Collins Eke. You're welcome. Our registrars, Lighthouse registrars, are also represented here. I think we have a big team from Lighthouse. Our external board evaluator, DCSL Corporate Services Limited, is represented by Ms. Tosi Kembi. She's online, I understand. The representative of the National Insurance Commission, I believe, is on the way. Representative of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Mr. Ikpeme Nsikan, is also here. You're welcome. We have the representative of the NGX Regulation Limited, Ms. Peggy Halliday. She's online. We also have the representative of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, Mr. Collins Chidi, is also here. He's online, I understand. Representatives of the Corporate Affairs Commission have not arrived. We'll announce them when they come. I am Shegun Adebanji, Chairman of the Board of our company. Thank you. Will the company secretary please read the notice convening this meeting?
Good afternoon, directors, Mr. Chairman, regulators here present, Lighthouse registrars, our audit committee members, esteemed shareholders, and the Nigerian public. Welcome to the 32nd AGM of Cornerstone Insurance PLC. I now read the notice. Notice is hereby given that the 32nd Annual General Meeting, AGM, of Cornerstone, page 2, of Cornerstone Insurance PLC, the company, will hold today at the Shell Hall, Muson Center, Oniko, Lagos, today, 31st July 2024, at 2 p.m. to transact the following businesses. Ordinary business, 1, to lay before members the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the reports of the directors, auditor, and audit committee thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to elect and re-elect directors. 4, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditor. 5, to disclose the remuneration of managers. 6, to elect shareholders representatives to the special business. To consider thought fit, pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution. 1, to approve the remuneration of the non-executive directors. 2, that in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, governing transactions with related parties or interested parties, the general mandate given to the company to enter recurrent transactions with related parties for the company's day-to-day operations, including the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms, be and is hereby renewed. Voting by interested persons. In line with the provisions of Rule 28H, Rules Governing Related Party Transactions of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, interested persons have undertaken to ensure that their proxies, representatives, or other associates shall abstain from voting on Resolution 1 above. Mr. Chairman and shareholders, with your kind permission, may I take the rest of the notice as read? Thank you. Dated 14th day of June 2024 by the order of the board, Park Solicitors, Company Secretaries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Park Solicitors. You will each have received your copy of the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, the Chairman's statement, the Group Managing Director CEO statement, and the reports of the Directors and External Auditor therein, which, with your permission, I will take as read. I now call on the External Auditors, KPMG Professional Services, to present their report as contained in the annual report. KPMG.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Directors, distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. My name is Akiemi Ashade. I will be presenting the auditor's reports on behalf of KPMG Professional Services. You will find the independent auditor's report on page 47 through to page 51 of the annual report. I would like to approach the shareholders through the chairman to allow me to read the opinion section on page 47 and the reports on other legal and regulatory requirements on page 51. If I have your permission, I'll proceed on that basis. Thank you very much. Independent auditors reports to the shareholders of Cornerstone Insurance PLC. Report on the audit of consolidated and separate financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statement of Cornerstone Insurance PLC, the company, and its subsidiaries, together the group, which comprise the consolidated and separate statement of financial position as at 31 December 2023, the consolidated and separate statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the consolidated and separate statement of changes in equity, the consolidated and separate statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes comprising material accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the accompanying consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of the company and its subsidiaries as at 31 December 2023, and its consolidated and separate financial performance and its consolidated and separate statement of cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with IFRS accounting standards as issued by the International Accounting Standard Board and in the manner required by Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Amendment Act 2023, and the Insurance Act 2003, and the relevant National Insurance Commission of Nigeria circulars. Page 51, reports on other legal and regulatory requirements. Compliance with the requirements of Schedule 5 of CAMA 2020. 1. We have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audits. 2, in our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the company so far as appears from our examination of those books, and proper returns adequate for the purposes of our audits have been received from branches not visited by us. 3, the company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns. Penalties. The group paid penalties in respect of contravention of the requirements of National Insurance Commission guidelines and circulars during the year ended 31 December 2023. Details of the penalties paid are disclosed in Note 38 to the consolidated and separate financial statements. Compliance with FRS guidance on assurance engagement reports on internal control over financial reporting. In accordance with the requirements of Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, we performed a limited assurance engagement and reported on management assessment of the company's internal control over financial reporting as of 31 December 2023. The work performed was done in accordance with ISAE 3000 revised assurance engagement on other than audits or reviews of the historical information and the FRC guidance on assurance engagement reports on internal control over financial reporting. We have issued an unmodified conclusion on our report dated 2nd July 2024. Kabir Okunlola signed on behalf of KPMG, dated 2nd July 2024, Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Akiemi Ashade from KPMG. Thank you.
Thank you, KPMG. Thank you, Mr. Ashade. I now call on Mr. Henry Olayemi, Chairman of the Audit Committee, to present the Audit Committee report. Mr. Olayemi.
The Chairman, members of Board of Directors of Cornerstone PLC, our distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, the report of the Statutory Audit Committee to the shareholders of Cornerstone PLC. In compliance with the provisions of Section 447 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, the members of the Statutory Audit Committee of Cornerstone Insurance PLC report on the consolidated and separate financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2023 as follows. 1. We confirm that the accounting and reporting policies of the company are in accordance with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. 2. We have reviewed the scope and planning of audit requirements. 3. We have reviewed the findings on management matters in conjunction with the external auditors and departmental responses thereon. 4. We have kept under review the effectiveness of the company's systems of accounting and internal control. And 5. We have made recommendation to the board with regard to the appointment, removal, and remunerations of the external auditors of the company, and signed on behalf of the committee by Henry Olayemi, Chairman, Audit Committee, and other members, Mr. Chibuzo Eke, Mr. Oyetunde Olamton Emilius, and Ms. Elizabeth Amadume. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olayemi. Thank you. The first item on the agenda is to lay before members the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023 and the reports of the directors and auditors therein. The company's audited financial statements have been distributed to you. I now lay before you the audited financial statements of Cornerstone Insurance PLC for the year ended 31st December 2023. Questions and comments on my statement and on the 2023 annual reports and financial statements are invited. Please announce your name before your question or comments, and please keep your comments as brief as possible to enable us to give all other members the opportunity to ask questions. Let's start from the middle, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity. My name is Gafar Erin Folami, the youngest shareholder. 50 years. So let me start from page 2, our notice of meeting. Ordinarily, this AGM should be holding tomorrow, the 1st of August. However, because of the situation of the country, we have shifted it to today. So I'm of the opinion that is an alteration to that notice, which should require 21 days. So can we move a motion on this floor to rectify it? So that's number one observation. Okay, should we just move it now? I hereby move that amendment should be made on our notice of meeting, changing the date from 1st of August to 31st July 2024.
Please.
I rise to second the resolution. The name is William Adiwayo.
Are there any objections? Okay, so the motion is duly carried. Please go on.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the next comment is on result at a glance. I observed that our figures for year 2022 were restated. I think this was occasioned by the transitioning to IFRS 17. So, and the observation here is that this made the performance of the company to be so, how do I put it? It's not very uncomparable compared to other years. I don't know the basis of that. So if you look at our earnings, for example, retained earnings increased by 11 billion or by 424% from 2.6 billion to 14 billion. So for me, that is somehow not realistic if you look at our liquidity position, because profitability is quite different from liquidity. So we should look at that. Then I want to also make inquiries on the impact and cost statement. It says, delivering values beyond expectations through needs-based products and quality service. My question here is, do we have any current plan to tap into the opportunities in the market by making out new products and new service? Then the next one is on page 14. It's on commendation. I want to commend the board and management on the substantial gains recorded in our motor business, aviation business, and engineering business. Then will this state anything on marine business? Marine business, what gains? What is? Can we tell us a little about that big aspect of our business? Then page 15. I also want to commend us for being the winner African Insurance Company of the Year. So that's very commendable. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. I think we will go right, and then we will go left, and then come back to the middle. Oh, sorry. We'll go there, and I will come back, please. Just be patient. You have to do it.
Chairman.
Yes, please.
We are so delighted to be here. My name is Adele Koladimeji. All protocols duly observed. Why we are delighted is that if you look at the past years, through the turbulent time this company has gone through, through the turbulent time this company has gone through, I know here we are now, so you realize that it's cause for a good celebration. Looking at this financial highlight is a very, very good result. If you look at page 250, which is the 5 years financial summary, page 251, sorry. In page 251, realize that our shareholders fund grew from 18 billion last year to 32 billion this year. This is a very, very good one. and also the retained earnings of the company, which you really break the record. I've never seen a company in which the retained earnings grew from 2 billion to about 14 billion. So it shows that we really have a board and management that really knows what they are doing. And also in baking this beautiful cake, it is not only the management of the company. If you look at the secretary, the reception, the gate man, everybody, you see that everybody is just about the progress of the company, and they are also part of the people that make these fantastic results. Due to the marketer that goes out every day to see that we see this good profit. So let's give everybody, all the staffs of Cornerstone PLC, a good round of applause. But one thing I still believe is that there is a room for improvement in this account. There is a room for improvement. I'm looking for a Cornerstone that will be doing a business of 50 billion in the next 5 years. So what strategy are you putting in place to achieve this aim? Some insurance companies are doing that and that. So what are the things we are putting in place? Also, if you look at page 34 of this account, on page 34 of this account, attendance at meeting, I realized that on the meeting of 19th July and 18th October, it is only 2 directors that attend the meeting. I believe that kind of meeting, we should have looked for some people to fill in this space. Why will you say just 2 directors attend the meeting? What are they going to deliberate on? Also, if you look at page 43, audit committee attendance, it is only 1 director that represents the management of the audit committee at meeting. I believe there should be 2. Also, page 220, in page 220, sir, we have other operating expenses. I believe our operating expenses, though the business is getting bigger, our operating expenses, there is a room for it to increase, but I still believe we should be cost conscious. I don't see a good reason why I should be spending huge sum of money on advertising now. Our advertising should be on social media, which is more and less cost effective. Also, sir, I don't know, sir, other expenses. You said entertainment, office expenses, and short traveled. Also under operating expenses, we still have business travels. So I don't know how I can combine the short travels and the business travels, sir. Maybe you can explain better. Also, page 135. Lastly, page 135. In page 135, if you look at the statement of profit and loss account, sir, you realize that Cornerstone listing and investment does not generate any income under the year review last year in 2022 account. Also, this year 2023 that we're also looking at, Cornerstone listing and investment does not generate any revenue. What are the modalities you are putting in place to see that this business starts making profit to the company? Thank you so much. I would like to give other people a chance to speak.
Thank you very much. As I said, we're going to this side. Chief, please. And then we'll come to the middle. Yeah. After that, we'll then take people from the back. Yeah.
The chairman, board members, regulatory authorities here present, my esteemed colleagues, shareholders, good afternoon. My name is Matthew Akinlade, President of Noble Shareholders Solidarity Association. First and foremost, I want to align with those who have commended the board, management, and staff on a good performance. I would say well done. Again, I want to appreciate our immediate past managing director, Mr. Ganeyu Musa, his tenure brought a lot of good tidings to the company. If you look at it from 2021 to 2023, there have been dividend declared regularly and increasing progressively. Whereas some few years before that, there was no dividend. Again, I look at his successor, Mr. Alangbo. I took time to go through his resume, and I could see that he has everything that it takes to run this kind of business. And I also want to commend the succession plan of the company, that when we have vacancy for the MD, we are not looking out to go and recruit. He was there. He has understood the system. So he can run the business seamlessly. I wish you all the best. And I wish you a very successful tenure. Few things I observe. If we go to page 4, we have where we have list of directors. There are only 2 independent directors. This company is short of 1 director, independent director, and we need to take action on that. When it comes to gender balancing, great that we have three female on the board. Now, on page 21, we have the operating results. Insurance revenue grew by 27% from 20 billion to about 26 billion, which is quite commendable. But an area that I will like us to throw light at is the insurance service expense, which grew by 65% from 10.8 billion to about 18 billion. We need to understand why this grew disproportionately. Yes, I know a lot of changes in the system, but I still believe that it's out of proportion. And I'm not surprised, though people have commended this profit of 13.8 billion as against 16 million of the previous year. Is a great performance. But if we go to note 29A on page 219, you see that realized exchange gain is 2.9 billion, which has been part of that that profit. But that's not the area of concern. On note 31, the same page 219, unrealized exchange gain is 17.3 billion. That's a lot, and that's part of the profit. So, in fact, if we net that off from the profit, we should be talking of a loss. So is this sustainable? The exchange gain, is it sustainable? Because from the core insurance business, if you look at it critically, we didn't make money from it. I review page 33 to 36. That has to do with board and committee meetings. A former speaker mentioned that there was a meeting where only 2 members attended. Honestly, I couldn't see that, because on page 33, where we have board meetings, there are 5 board meetings, except for those that are not yet member or those who have exited. I didn't see anyone that other directors didn't attend. Maybe there is something I couldn't read properly there. So I want to commend the board for giving their time to the service of the company by attending meetings regularly, even for the committee meetings, except one that I saw that a member was absent only once. So it was, for me, that's a very good performance. I would say like 99.9% achievement. So let's keep it up. I look at the auditor's report contained on page 47 to 51, and they have no separate opinion on key audit matters, which means our finance people are doing great job. The only one I want to comment on is on penalty, which is on note 38 on page 223. As against 500,000 paid for penalty the previous year, we paid 55 million. That's a lot. That's a lot. And we need to understand how we came to this and what we are going to do in the future to avoid paying such penalties. Somebody again commented on the liquidity of our company. I look at page 108 where we have the balance sheet. I believe the company is liquid, because if you look at cash and cash equivalent, we have 19 billion as against 10.88 billion of the previous year, unless we are looking at current years. If there have been reports submitted in current year, and even shareholders fund, which was 70.9 billion the previous year, is now 33 billion, which is a 7% improvement. And retained earnings, which was about 2.7 billion, now 14.1 billion, which is 424% improvement. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Thank you very much for giving your time to run the company efficiently. I wish you all the very best in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, we will take. No, we'll take one from you, and then we go back to, and then after that, Mr. Nona Awo, it's your turn, please. Yeah, just take your time, please. And please, to enable us give space for other people, let's keep it as short and sweet as possible. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chairman, for the opportunity. I am Comrade Moses Ibrude, the National Coordinator of Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria. First and foremost, there is the need to appreciate the board of every company and management of every company for running a company in this environment we are. In this environment where things are very tough, nobody will tell you, oh, is doing well or not doing well. So the reason we need to appreciate you that you are keeping the flag of the company on. Having said that, this is the very, again, you are tasking and mandating you also that this time you have to put everything on board to make sure that this business at this time must float, must work, and must be successful. So that is a promise you are going to give to us. We know things are tough, but you must give commitment that in the next 32 years to come, this company must stand, not only stand, must advance and be one of the players, as you already said, African Insurance Organization Award of the Year. This time around, we need to do more. Now, having said that, sir, a lot of things are changing. I would not want to talk about the account because you have migrated from an FRS to new one now. So until this year, which is 2024 account, you can now get a very clear comparison analysis. So I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to dwell on what is happening on the industry today. First and foremost, there is a law that is on the National Assembly now. So we must be proactive. Now they are saying 15 billion, 25 billion, and all of that. What are you people doing as an industry to make sure that that law that is going to come out will not affect us negatively? Then that is general. You as an individual company, what are you doing to make sure and envisage what the outcome of that law? How are you prepared? Because that's what will help us to navigate for the next 32 years. So what are we doing? You must give us assurance on what you are doing to make sure this you key into all the business. There is new sheriff in town, and anytime when there is a new sheriff in town, there are always scapegoats. How are you prepared so that you as a company will not be used as a scapegoat? Because when you look at your account now, we have a lot of penalty. So you need to what? Prepare. Then the final position I want to dwell on is on your non-executive, non-independent director. You see, the system has so changed in such a way that the laws, when they make them against the minority, which we are. If you look at the board, you will say non-independent director, he represents minority shareholder. Is no. In a company, there are two sets of people: the majority holders and the minority holders. The majority will run, appoint at least whatever the management and all of that. At least in a fair and just environment, at least one director is supposed to come from what? The minority. An independent director will be there to mediate between the majority and the minority. But what do we have today? You say, when you ask, you say, this non-independent director is representing minority shareholder. Are you independent? If a non-independent is representing minority, no. These things must change. These things should be, that is what we're supposed to be talking about now. But we here, it's like we don't even know our right. When there are two people on board, an independent director, an independent person will stand. Hey, don't do it this way. Here, do it this way. When there are conflicts, an independent director is supposed to come in play between that. Are we being represented on the board? Please, we are next appointment, sir. On the board, consider people from this end. At least one independent director cannot represent us. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. No, Mr. Elmo, please.
The chairman, very distinguished fellow shareholders, especially those of you who have stayed back after even collecting the bags, because some person collected and took off. I don't know how to greet those ones that have left, but if you know them, please greet them. Chairman, I know that the name of our company is Cornerstone, but the way this high table is arranged, I think it's been further cornered. Because at a stage I was wondering whether it's my seat that was in the wrong location. but I can confirm that the high table has been arranged cornered. But talking seriously to the account, which for me is also a book of, I'm not sure how to put it, but it's basically about okay, when I get the English, I'll come to it. But I think it's also proper on occasion like this to thank the board and management, not for the performance first, but for coming to terms to what is reality. Like I said previously, this company was founded by a young man. So if you then look at page 7, and then you then find that this board have thought it fit to have his profile, I think I will also be unfair if I don't say thank you. So I want to thank you for paying attention and then making sure that that has now become a reality. Again, let me publicly confess that I don't know the young man from Adams. I only met him once. Fortunately, Henry Olayemi is here, when they were about to come to the market. And the question he asked me when he got to meet me was that, I am told that you are one of the most critical persons as far as the capital market is concerned. I want to make sure that I face you, and I will face you to the point that you will believe in us. That was their contact. So I want to thank again the board for coming to reality with that. However, I know that it's also not the role of the board to go out and say, we want to give donation or give money to whoever they see on the street. But if you look at our level of donation, I stated on page 24 and 25, I don't think that we have gotten that side right. The 100,000 that we gave in memory of him for one of the donation is the least of all the money that we gave. The least. So I'll also be taxing you a second time and hoping that it will not take this long in you having to implement that. Will it be out of place if Cornerstone has an award and that award is given to the best student in whichever village he comes from, as a remembrance of the work that he has done that all of us are talking about today? Because if that foundation was not created, maybe some of us will have our money in Onka High Tech, or we'll have it in one of those that probably have gone. But if this company is still living because he was there, I think the board should make an award. If you don't want to take any of the investors, again, sponsoring an award, I think we should at least have one that will remind his root, that says, sorry, your son has done his part and we have not forgotten what he has done. I think that's one of the ways to help. You know why it's even much more compelling for me? Chairman, I don't want to go to bed trying to take volume 10 and volume 50 before I will go to bed. I would rather tell you the way I feel, so that when I get into my room, before I put my head on the pillow, I don't travel. If you look at this account, on page 221, we made a donation of 14 million. And what we gave for the man who made 14 million possible was 100,000. I want all the board members, including management, please go home and reflect on it and ask yourself, if you are in that position that helped to create this business and they give 100,000 when you are gone, I'm sure some of us, if they had cutlass on the other side of the world that they will go to, they will carry the cutlass and begin to chase some of us. But I don't want them to chase you with cutlass, so go and think about it. Mr. Chairman, I also think that the performance that we've talked about today should not just be about the performance. By the way, Stephen, your own Stephen is longer than Steve. Huh? Because if you look at the number of words that make Steve and Stephen, you find that there's a difference. But I want to think that is because your statement is shorter than the chairman's statement. That's why the management itself will have come that all they should pay us is a dividend of 16 kobo. That is the fourth highest dividend that this company is making. But in terms of performance, I'm sure you also will tell people who know you that since Cornerstone started, you have brought more profit between you and Ganyu. By the way, I'm also told that Ganyu's, if you were to convert Ganyu's name to English, he will have been Stephen. So we'll have had 3 Stephens on the board. But since he's gone, let's remain with the 2 that are Stephen and leave the Stephen that has gone. What am I talking about? Ibrahim Moses talked about recapitalization. I think that one of the things that you should also talking to us about today is about what we are going to do going forward. Because if you ask me, ordinarily I would have said that the 25 kobo dividend, which is the highest in the history of this company, is even low for you to pay us this year. But I'm conscious about recapitalization. So what are you going to do differently? Because it's easy for us to collect 16 kobo today and be clapping. And then you come tomorrow, we say, oh, go and bring money. But I'll wait to hear your answer. The other one I also want to talk about, which is also related to the performance, because if you look at you having to pay claims, between claims and reinsurance of 26 billion in 1 year, it then begins to also mean that this business can get bigger, and the bigger your business become, the supporting, the base, the foundation must also be strong. And that's why for me, the issue of recapitalization is not one that government should even be telling us. It's the one that will be propelling ourselves to say, oh, for us to do bigger business, this is where we should be. That then brings me again to the issue that Chief Akinlade has raised concerning investment income. But if you look at the investment income and return, you also begin to understand the challenge that some of us also carry. Because if you pay dividend of that size for a company that is how many years listed on the exchange, and you don't have anywhere in this account that you are talking about your share price, then there's something also wrong. So what I will be hoping that you do going forward, that you take the 5-year financial summary, because that page will always have the profit after tax and will also have the dividend that you have paid. Below it, put the share price, because that itself helps me to calculate what the yields are. And for any person who is interested in real investment, yes, I know some of us, including myself, will buy some shares, 2 units, 1 unit, so we can come and collect pack. But it's beyond pack. It's beyond the puff. But so let's also begin to find a situation as to how we can encourage people to really get to the investment mood. Because without investment, a number of us are not likely to live the way we want to live when age begins to tell on us. Mr. Chairman, on the final note, because like I said, this account is a reconciliation account. All over, reconciliation. Even at a stage, I was thinking that the husband and wife in the company are quarreling. But I'll leave that to you to explain. So let's see what we can do. And what we can do, with due respect, Mr. Chairman, is to also say that come next year, long Steve, or no, I shouldn't say long, because I'm not sure the height of the other Steve. Tall, is it longer or higher Steve? Yes, that the dividend that must come from this company next year must not be less than 25 kobo. Because if you come less than 25 kobo, I will refer you to the story of Stephen, the originator of your name. You know what happened to him? I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
I think we need to give a chance to a lady. A lady. Oh, we have a lady here, so please, yeah.
Thank
Please
you,
be
Mr.
patient.
Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, other board members, the regulatory authorities, my fellow distinguished shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Barrister Adetutu Shinyombola. I'm the president of Highly Favored Shareholders Association. Mr. Chairman, I have some observations, comments, questions, and suggestions on Cornerstone Insurance PLC's 2023 annual report and account. With your kind permission, I will quickly run through them. Though some of them have been, I will just keep those that has been touched. I said, when I marry consolidated results at a glance on page 6 with operating results on page 21, item 2, I observed the following. And I said, in conclusion, going through the indices above, listed in those pages, I observed an impressive performance in the year under review. I said I want to seize this opportunity to give kudos to the board and management team for a job well done. I implore them to do more. On page 14, okay, award, it has, let me skip that. On page 15, from page 15 to 17, the beautiful faces and the profile of the board of directors. Observe that we have 3 ladies in the board of 8 directors, which amounts to 37.5%. This is highly commendable. Please keep it up. On page 18, the beautiful faces of the management team. Observe that we have only 2 ladies in the management team of 12 members, which amounts to 60.7%. This is unacceptable on gender balancing. We have to improve on it going forward. On page 21, item 2, dividend of 16 kobo per share in the year under review. Better for us. On page 21, what is the problem? Okay. On page 21 and 22, item 4, directors shareholding. I observe that only 2 directors out of 8 listed have our shares.
Sorry, ma'am. Can we please correct that, please? Okay. Please go ahead, ma'am.
On page 21 and 22, item 4, directors shareholding. Observe that only 2 directors out of 8 listed have our shares attached to their names directly in the year under review. I want to know why. And I also observe on that same page that there is no disclosure of indirect holdings. Why as well? On page 22, item 6, essential interest in shares. Observe that we have 2 major shareholders with the minority shareholders in our company in the year under review. I would like to toe the line of our national coordinator, Comrade Ibrude Moses, in requesting, because we're having 2 major shareholders with the minority shareholders in our company in the year under review. I would like to seize this opportunity to request for a seat for the minority shareholders in our board. Please grant it to us. From page 33 to 36, attendance at board meetings and board committee meetings. Let me skip that. It's good but can be better. We need to improve on our attendance. I observe that we have utilized the annual report judiciously to advertise all our products. This is commendable. Please keep it up. Thanks and God bless you richly for this opportunity, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Sorry, just a moment. Yes, please. I think we will take 2 more and then we can move on, please, because a lot of the issues have been raised. Yeah, please. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One house. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is William Adibayo. It is important if you look at the achievement this board have eked out within this period. But when you look at it constructively, if you look at the statement of the MD who is responsible for the day-to-day running of the business, we have to commend some of the statements. You made 24% on non-life business. So your subsidiary to Fin Insurance also record 21%, which is a good one. But when you join this achievement, 24 and 21, with what you've been able to achieve as foreign exchange gains, one must ask today and employ this board to quickly look at areas which you feel that you have advantage, to quickly put that money into that areas. Because that foreign exchange gain that you have may not be something that you'll be getting every year. But wisely, if you look at where you have advantage over your peers in this business, quickly put that money there for investment. So also, one must not leave this hall today without commending this board. At this particular area time, when hardship is so great, this honorable board has been able to take 18 people out of the labor market. Please give them a round of applause. 18 staffs were employed within that period. That is on page 24. We must not leave here without giving you kudos for bringing 18 people into this business. Mr. Chairman, once again, we look forward to you expanding your coast with what you have gained. And so also, you are blessed with two majority shareholders who have almost 80%. For you to raise more capital is no problem, because your majority shareholders too will pump in money. So do not waste time. Enlarge this coast with your achievement and advantage in your core business. Please, we believe that by next year you'll be able to give us more dividend. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. I'd like to give the last slot to a lady. One of the ladies, please. Can you please sit down, please, sir? Please sit down. Please sit down. And we have a lady. Any lady? Any lady? Any lady? Thank you. So we'll move on. We'll move on. I really appreciate all the comments that have been made, and I'd like to thank you, deeply for being so forthright and for contributing immensely to the conversations we've had today. I know that if you reflect back on the history of Cornerstone in the last few years, we've had our own challenges. We've listened to you. You've given us a lot of input, and we've worked as much as we could in implementing the inputs. We will continue to listen to you, and we will continue to reflect the advice that you're giving us and the areas of focus as we go forward. There are just a couple of these statements I'd like to make for the sake of time. In the first instance, issues were raised about the audit committee and representation. The numbers dropped because we lost Mr. Ekwinife Okoli. And it's a vacancy that we know we will fill. At the moment, we have Madam Christabel taking his place, and in due time, I'm sure that vacancy will be filled. I also appreciate sorry, look, shall we go on, please? Yeah, I also appreciate the observation made by Mr. Akilade in respect of Mr. Ganiyu Musa. Thank you. So we appreciate the contributions from Mr. Ganiyu Musa, and I appreciate the comments made regarding the succession planning process. Now, in terms of the capitalization, if you're not going to allow us to hold the meeting, you may have to be excused. Please. Thank you. Thank you very much. In terms of the issue raised by Mr. Awo, part of what we are doing is to ensure that we are as conservative as we can in terms of the dividends, enabling us to conserve as much of the reserves as possible to ensure that we can meet any capitalization requests. But I know that as we go forward, we will, as we've done before, we will do the best we can to improve on the dividend payout, by the grace of God. Now, the point was raised about directors' shareholding. I'd like to make sure that is clear. Personally, I have made this statement a number of times that to ensure my independence on any board, I don't hold the shares of any board on which I serve, because I want to maintain my independence and be free to express my views irrespective. And I believe that is the reason why some of us don't have our shares, we don't have shares in the company. It's not a lack of confidence, it's just a matter of personal policy. So all in all, I can assure you, shareholders, that we will continue to do the best we can to ensure that we are delivering the right results and improving on our dividend payouts as we go forward. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. As time is of the essence, we will have to move on, but my colleagues and I will be available after the meeting to answer any further questions that you may have. The next item on the agenda is to declare a dividend. The company is declaring that a dividend of 16 kobo per ordinary share of 50 kobo each be distributed to members of the company. I therefore move that a total dividend of 2,906,622,836 naira, that is 16 kobo per ordinary share of 50 kobo each, be distributed to members of the company as dividend. Will a member please second this motion? The gentleman in the yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
The name is Lawal Wahab Olatuji. I rise to second that motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olatuji. All those in favor of the motion should please raise their right hands. Those in favor? All those against the motion should please raise their right hand. Okay. I therefore declare the motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the election of directors. Since the last audit annual general meeting, 2 directors have been appointed to the board, and they are Mrs. Christabel Oyedekwe and Mr. Peter Ekweme. They are both seasoned professionals who possess the skills and experience that are relevant to the business of the company. Their profiles are contained on page 16 and page 17 of the 2023 annual report. I hereby move that the appointment of Mrs. Christabel Oyedekwe as a non-executive director for Cornerstone Insurance PLC be and is hereby approved. The man in the white hat, the gentleman in the white hat, I will. Be patient.
Thank you, my indefatigable chairman.
Yes.
I, Prince Abosaya, all the way from Remo Central Constituency, I so do.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion should please raise their right hands. All those in favor? All those against should please raise their right hands. We don't have anybody. Okay. I declare the motion carried. I further move that the appointment of Mr. Peter Ekweme as an executive director of Cornerstone Insurance PLC be and is hereby approved. Will a member please second this motion? The lady in glasses. The lady, yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okeleye Adenike Elizabeth.
Yes.
I second that motion.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion should please raise their right hands. All those against the motion, please raise your right hands. Okay. Sorry? Okay. I declare the motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of retiring directors. Mrs. Elizabeth Amadweme and myself, Segun Adebanji, are directors retiring by rotation in accordance with Section 285 of CAMA 2020. Thus, I will now hand over this part of the proceedings to the Group Managing Director.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. With your permission, can I just stay and do the next activity? Mr. Segun Adebanji and Mrs. Elizabeth Amadweme, being eligible and having indicated their willingness to stay in office, hereby present themselves for re-election. I hereby request any member to the second. Okay. I hereby move that Mr. Segun Adebanji, being a director retiring and presenting himself for re-election at the meeting, be and hereby re-elected as a director of Cornerstone Insurance PLC. Will a member please second this motion?
Okay, thank you, Acting Chair Bamishile Abiola. I do second the motion. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. All those in favor of the motion should raise their hand. Thank you. All those against the motion should raise their hand. I declare the motion carried.
Thank you very much. I hereby move that Ms. Elizabeth Amadweme, being a director retiring and presenting herself for re-election at this. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is to authorize the Board of Directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Section 408 of CAMA 2020 requires that the remuneration of the auditors be fixed by the company in general meeting or such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors of the company. Will a member please second this motion? Sorry, the gentleman in suit, the gentleman in suit, yes. Oh, sorry, yes, give it to him, yes, please. Thank you, yes. Please be patient.
Thank you, my chairman, for recognizing Yekina Adisa.
Thank you.
Governor of Focus Shareholder Circle, I rise to second the motion.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion should please raise their hands. Right. All those against the motion should please raise up their hands. Right. I declare the motion carried. The next item on the agenda is to disclose the remuneration of managers. This is a requirement under Section 238 and 257 of CAMA 2020. The remuneration of managers is disclosed on pages 2020 and 2021 of the 2023 annual report. The next item on the agenda is the election of shareholders' representatives to the Audit Committee. The Audit Committee is a requirement of Section 404 of CAMA 2020, and in compliance with Section 404 subsection 3 of CAMA 2020, the company's Audit Committee is comprised of 3 shareholder representatives and 2 directors. The shareholder appointees to the Audit Committee are Mr. Henry Olayemi, Mr. Chibuzo Eke, and Mr. Emelius Oyetunde. The following members have been nominated for election to the Audit Committee: Mr. Henry Olayemi, Mr. Chibuzo Eke, and Mr. Emelius Oyetunde Olaitan. Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, the name is William Adebayo. For clarity purpose, it is good we give the company secretary grace to announce if there are other nominations that she received during the period before announcing. Please get up and announce, please.
Okay. Thank you, esteemed shareholders. Within the 21 days period, we did not get any further nominations from any shareholder representative apart from the three gentlemen by my left. Thank you.
Thank you. I now present the candidates for election. Please note that you can only vote 3 times. Okay. Now, with your authority, those 3 are appointed. Thank you. So, with your permission, so we have, based on that, we have Mr. Henry Olayemi, Mr. Chibuzo Eke, Mr. Emelius Oyetunde Olaitan, who have been who will represent the Audit Committee on behalf of shareholders. Therefore, the members of the Audit Committee are as follows: Mr. Henry Olayemi, Mr. Chibuzo Eke, Mr. Emelius Oyetunde Olaitan, representing the shareholders, and Mrs. Elizabeth Amadume and Mrs. Christabel Oyedekwe representing the directors. I congratulate these members on their appointment, and I'm sure we can rely on you to do an excellent job. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the first special business on the agenda is to fix the remuneration of directors. Section 293 of CAMA 2020 requires that the remuneration of directors be fixed by the company in general meeting, or such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I hereby move that management be and is hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of non-executive directors of the company. Will a member please second this motion? Now, I think we have to get somebody from the back. Somebody from the back, please. Oh, sorry. Please. No, please give it to him. Thank you. Be patient.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, you are able to call me.
My apologies. My apologies.
Once again, my name is High Chief Ajay Robert Igbe. I second that motion.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, all those in favor of the motion should please raise their right hands. Right. All those against the motion should please raise their right hands. I declare the motion carried. The second special business on the agenda is a resolution to approve related party transactions. I hereby move that in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited governing transactions with related parties or interested parties, the general mandate given to the company to enter recurrent transactions with related parties for the company's day-to-day operations, including the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms, be and is hereby renewed. Will a member please move or second the motion? The gentleman in the hat. The gentleman in the hat. Yes. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
At last. My name is Akeode Olatunji.
Yes.
I second the motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion should please raise their right hands. All those in favor? All those against? All those against? No one. Okay. I declare the motion carried. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the close of business businesses to be considered at this meeting. On behalf of the board and management of your company, I thank you all for taking the time to attend this meeting and for actively participating in the affairs of the company. May God continue to bless our joint efforts to move the company forward. Please continue to stay safe. I now call on Mr. Henry Olayemi to please lead us in the closing prayer. Shall we rise, please?
Shall we rise and pray? Our precious Father, we thank you for this opportunity we had this afternoon to consider the accounts of our company for 2023. Thank you for how you have seen us through the deliberation today. Thank you for taking control of the meeting. Thank you for the advices and comments that we have received from members. We ask that, Lord, even as we look to year 2024, that, Lord, you will even give us better performance, and that, Lord, when we meet to consider the account next year, we will have all the reason to give glory to your holy name. As we go home, Father, take us to our destination safely, and, Lord, let your protection be over us, Father. Pray for the Nigerian economy, that, Lord, you will help us, oh God, to put it right, and that, Lord, all will go well with our nation. In Jesus' name we pray.
National anthem, please. Just one verse, please. The national anthem. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Destiny, I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. just life, that's how it is. Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
We not go far, we a go go, we go we, you go know. All of the blessings fall on my yard, blessings stay for my yard. And like a dad, he go big, he go see, he go feel because the blessings fall on my yard, blessings fall on my yard. That's why I say fire alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, not disturb me, cha. I sip my alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, not disturb me, cha. Too many distractions, too many problems. I feel to run away, but I won't go stop them. Too many bad men and not enough friends. Lord save me, don't wanna lose my conscience. I just wanna dance under the sunset. Make nobody stop my enjoyment. Oh. No. That's why I say fire alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, not disturb me, cha. I sip my alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, not disturb me, cha.
My baby, my Valentine. You know you do make you with temperature difference. If you leave me a good time, I swear. You are like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be honest. Loving the thought of me, I am so obsessed. I want to chop your own. Never need a mechanic. Open up, make us you. I'm love wanting to make a bad man sing.
I go spend for your head. Talk all they want, I don't care what they say. Cause your matter, now him I con the carry for my head. Every night, and you I want to carry to my bed. Oh no, don't tell me no. You can be my partner, never ride it solo. And we got no one lucky, no need to party.